funny. Even after everything you've done, I would have saved you.
That actually is pretty funny.
You still try to fight. Can't you see that it's hopeless?
That man won't quit as long as he can still draw a breath. None of my teammates will.
We're cutting it a little close. Have you shut off the force field?
Not yet. Where are you?
Aboard the watchtower, guiding it to target.
That's insane! Get out of there!
Negative. I'm staying in.
Batman! Always have to be the hero, don't you?
Right back at you.
One thing I gotta know. How'd you stay with me all day, risking your butt for someone who's never given you anything but trouble?
I know what it's like to try and rebuild a life. I had a bad day too, once.
Nice guys like you shouldn't have bad days.
This used to be a beautiful street. Good people lived here once.
Good people still live in Crime Alley. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman! If only I could have warned them. But there isn't anything you could have done. There isn't anything either of us could have done.
Your mom and dad? Does the hurt ever go away?
I wish I could say yes. But it will get better in time. For you. That I promise.
I was always a fan of Batman ever since I was a kid. I grew up with the every iteration of the character. 60s, the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and like all forms of cartoons. But the main thing I do remember, one of them, was I was on Netflix, back in its heyday, and I found a show with Batman and, the Justice League and all that. And I thought it was like the coolest show ever. I mean, like, it actually seemed like it was, for like for the fans. It wasn't like kiddie garbage, I guess you could say. The point is that made me really fall in love with Batman. Sure the others did it for me, but like, that was a Batman that I loved. I mean, he was with the Justice League, and he was friendly, and he was just an all around just amazing person, and he made me feel like I could be able to be me, but still be able to form relationships with those around me. And now I just, it's something, I'll say that. And even with all the games and other media, I just want to thank Kevin for all the memories he's given me throughout the years. So, with this, the new Gotham Knights game came out, and it's kind of trash, not gonna lie, But that got me thinking about Red Hood, and that reminded me of one of my favorite Batman films of all time, which is Batman Under the Red Hood. Now, I think this is like one of the few good interpretations of Batman, because while there's a good amount of them that are good, some like there's just like a few that really like understand the character, you know. Obviously Kevin is obviously one of them. But my main point of this with Batman Under the Red Hood is how this movie like really understood Batman as a character. First off, I like the fact that it takes obviously inspiration from the comic itself, Batman Under the Red Hood. And beginning with that, I like how it deals with the thought of like grief and the understanding of like losing those around you, which I guess in this case, you know. But in this movie, I think the best case of this is how Batman's philosophy of never killing. Now, obviously, in other forms of media, Batman has, you know, like occasionally, once in a while, do it. Robert Pattinson is actually, I think, like the first ever live-action Batman to not kill. I'm just kind of, Jesus, it's 2022, and now people, and now like, you know, like directors and all that know that he doesn't kill, but you know, it's, you know, it is what it is. The point of this is just that, like, I always love the fact that Batman's main goal is to save as many lives as he can, because as many people, like the general public believes that Batman is this anti-villain. People think that Batman is this like anti-hero or vigilante who goes out in the dark and just beating the ever-loving life out of criminals and stuff like that. And I mean, that's not really who Batman is. Batman is someone who tries to save everyone he can, and he wants to like do what's right and to fix Gotham. And sure, he might be scary in the end, but we all know Batman cares for those and those he knows he can help, because that's what Batman does. And in this, obviously, I'm gonna get to this later, but it's the point of how no matter what happens, you shouldn't let your mind be judged by like what happens. Like, just because something happens in life doesn't mean that you should give up on your philosophy and way of life and just throw it away. But I'm getting ahead of myself too later. What I really like about this Batman movie is that it really shows Batman as a character dealing with, you know, with the sins of his past, being Robin. And I think Robin in general in this movie is a great look at how a character can fall and just have so much hate and anger in him. Because obviously he would be mad with the Joker killing him. So obviously he dons the persona Red Hood, going out in the night and doing what people think Batman is, a vigilante who just, it's just all about like just vengeance and going against, you know, like those who criminalize Gotham. But that's not what Batman is. And that's why Batman is the perfect interpretation of this, because he shows Robin that there is a side of life and overall preservation of people, because even though you might see the darkest side of people, you can always try to do better and fix those that maybe aren't worth fixing, but Batman always finds a way to see that. And I'm going to take a second here to mention Batman from Justice League Unlimited. In the season finale epilogue, it's about Batman Beyond, and it shows Terry McGinnis's future. And Amanda Waller tells us a tale from back in the day, whenever Batman was in his prime, with the League. And every time I watch that scene, it always hits me of how Batman just, no matter what, doesn't want to kill anybody. He just wants to help, because that's what he does. And he's not a monster. He's a hero. And he's my hero.
Did you like playing with my new Royal Flush gang?
Can't say that I did.
Yeah, they aren't any fun at all. I gave them their powers and they still hardly ever play with me. When I was little, Cadmus used to make me play all kinds of games, but they weren't any fun either. They'd strap me into their machines and poke wires into my brain. Ace, can you move this object with your mind? They were training me, turning me into a weapon for justice, they said. They got their weapon. I got cheated out of my childhood.
I know what that's like.
You do, don't you? You don't have to answer. I read your mind. That's how I knew you weren't going to use Mrs. Waller's weapon on me.
No, I wasn't.
I'm dying very soon.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Could you stay with me? I'm scared.
He sat with her until her time came.
And that's why he's the greatest hero of all time. There are other positives of this movie. Being the Joker, I don't know how, but the Joker was pretty good in this. Like the way he acts and like the way he carries himself is pretty good.
Sure. Anything else?
I'll need some guys. Not these guys, because, well, they're kind of dead.
Honestly, like Black Mask, he didn't have to be funny in this, but he was, and I like that too. That was pretty good.
You. New guy.
Sir.
Don't be nervous, kid. But if you keep staring at me like that, I'm gonna cut your eyes out.
I do like the whole mystery in this. I mean, obviously we know what's gonna happen, but I think the intrigue and the way they handle this with the mysterious nature of the Red Hood in general, it's pretty good. But I guess the main part where I want to get to this is why I really love this movie, and it's that one scene when they're in the warehouse and they're with the Joker and it's Jason pointing the gun at Batman. Saying,
why? I'm not talking about killing Penguin or Scarecrow or Dent. I'm talking about him. Just him. And doing it because he took me away from you.
I can't. I'm sorry.
And Batman just shows, no matter what, he doesn't want to be as bad as the villain he faces on a daily basis. Because if he does that, he'll go down the path just like them. And that's why this film really hits home, that it knows Batman and it understands who he is. And that is why I love Batman Under the Red Hood. So yeah. Don't play Gotham Knights, but if you can, please just watch any of Kevin's work, because he's my Batman, and I'm pretty sure he means a lot to probably a lot of you out there. And thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for the memories, Kevin. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you all.
Zuko's taken so much, caused you so much pain. I couldn't stand the thought that he might take you. too.
Come on, partner.